And Haley Wagner will be in the circle. She has been a workhorse so far in Athletes Unlimited softball action.
Well, of course, she's getting the ball. She has been just such a workhorse in this league, has thrown a ton of innings, and obviously her experience at the University of Michigan, as well as playing professionally. 2 and 3, I mean, this is a tough league as a pitcher. Sometimes I think you're going to struggle because the hitting is so good. So for her, it's just going to be about being consistent and finding that strike zone right out of the bat.
She pitches to contact. You see those 25 2/3 innings of work. She has only walked 1. She has struck out only 5. So the ball gets put in play. She needs an airtight defense behind her. 70 degrees for our first pitch. Slight drizzle, but a vast improvement from what we saw early this morning when it was a torrential downpour. But this field is phenomenal. It is dried, and it's going to be a fantastic surface for softball. First pitch of the game called strike 1 to Kylan Becker. Teams change each and every week. 56 players divided evenly in 4 different teams. And we're seeing it takes a while sometimes to kind of get acclimated to the color jersey that each player is wearing. And sometimes you're one team, you're out in right field, and that week you're a different team, they need a third baseman, and you're plugged in different spots. It's one of the things that we're adjusting to with Athletes Unlimited softball. 0-2 to Becker.
That's something that I like that about this league, is that you can fall in love with the players, but it's tough because the teams are forever changing. But that's the beauty of it. You have to, as an athlete, continue to evolve and be, switching and putting yourself in uncomfortable positions. But I think that's what makes it so unique, is these women are experienced in all levels. Collegiately, they've played professionally. Some have played overseas in Japan. They should be able to be on teams and constantly switch and use their experience to their advantage.
And as we've talked about a lot over the last couple of weeks, this is a shielded environment. These women are in close proximity to each other for a 5-week window. So they do practice with each other. They spend time off the field with each other. It is building camaraderie as the weeks go by, even when you're not on the same team.
I think what can be the biggest challenge and where these athletes need to hit home right away is just the communication that you have with your battery. If you're constantly changing and having a different catcher all the time, that's when you really have to step it up and to be able to have those open conversations.
Shortstop, Abby Ramirez, airtight, and there's our game's first out. Let's take a look at the defense. Here's Theresa Meyers, falls down and sprays it foul.
Coming out hacking.
Great stat line with Meyers. Just 3 hits through 6 games, yet she leads the league in on-base percentage. She can hit. There's her 4th hit, and she is aboard with 1 out. Normally she'd be getting on base, but base on balls are a hit batsman.
Well, this is just an off-speed pitch. Drifts a little bit too much over the plate, I think, but she's just able to keep her weight back. She is so good and just continues to keep having success week after week. And it's starting to get to that point as a pitcher where you really got to bring it in tight on her. And when you get ahead, you got to miss way out of the zone.
Here's Samantha Howe. Howe was so dynamic in week 1. So dynamic that she was one of the 4 captains for week 2. Had a down week last week. And now not a captain. Let's see if she can get back to the level she was performing at for week 1. Ball gets away from the catcher, and that's going to allow Meyers to pick up 60 feet.
And the only tough thing about having weather like this with a field that is primarily now it's wood chip, it used to be that tire. It's tough as a pitcher sometimes because you don't have the dirt to grab. So if your hand gets slick, she'll continue to keep touching that rosin, but usually you can have the dirt to help yourself out a little bit.
Good pitch, outer half by Wagner. She's got Howe set up. Ball and 2 strikes. After week 1, Samantha Howe was second among 56 players in total points. She's dipped down to 18 out of 56. Going the other way, nice scoop by the first baseman Jenkins, and that is out number 2. All right, this is softball like you've never seen it before. This is 20 for a double. There are ways to get negative points as well. Pitchers can get points and lose points. You also get points for winning innings, individual innings. If your team outscores the other team, everyone on your roster will get 10 points. And when it's all said and done, there are winning points for winning the game and MVP points for the top 3 MVPs that are voted on by the players and fans.
When I think that's what makes that so cool, is that every single inning does matter. And if you want to get up high on that leaderboard, the importance of being on teams that win and win innings will really catapult you up. And we've seen a lot of these great players that have been on losing teams and had 3 for 4 days, 4 for 4 days where they've been exceptional, but they don't see themselves climbing up because they haven't been a part of teams that win. And that additional 50 points that you receive at the end of a game is a lot. And if you could potentially win 4, 5, 6 innings, those are points that you get to put in your piggy bank.
2 balls and a strike. 2 former Michigan Wolverines battling. Wagner and Amanda Chittister. They overlapped 1 year in 2012, Chittister's senior year, and Wagner's standout freshman season. Yeah, I think a lot of people have to be surprised that Amanda Chittister is currently 36 out of 56 players in rank.
And I haven't seen a bomb yet. I would have expected her right out of the chute to go yard, but I mean, she's almost one of those players you hold your breath and expect it almost every at-bat.
Looking for something extra. I don't think I've ever seen 67 from Haley Wagner. But that pitch, 67, misses. And the count goes full. 3-2. Popped up. It's going to be playable. Jaquish, foul territory. The squeeze. Side is retired. Here on a Saturday afternoon, Megan Wiggins grabs a bat. First pitch from Jessica Burrows, misses ball 1. Didn't see Burrows throwing last week. Glad to have her back. Former All-American at Florida State. She's been effective on the year, but hasn't pitched a ton. No one on Team Sanders has logged a lot of innings. I guess you could spin it that they're fresh as a rotation.
And I think you can also flip it and say there's some pitchers that need to really step up and need to perform. And she's 0-1 with a 7.50 ERA. And I can't express enough the hitters in this league and how good they are and how much of a challenge it can be for the pitchers. But quality spots is something that needs to be where your head's at. When you get in the circle, you got to own that inside part of the zone on these hitters.
Wiggins goes the other way. That ball is caught. Good job by Kylan Becker. Got a fan. Here's Abby Ramirez. Swats it, shallow center field, that'll get down. So a 1-out base runner, just like we saw in the top of the first inning. Here in the bottom of the first inning, 1-out single to center.
And we've seen a lot of these hitters just right off the bat swinging, knowing that pitchers are trying to get ahead. Ramirez is that true slapper. That ball just drifted a little bit up in the zone, was able to stay on plane with it and drop it in.
Talk about all the responsibility for the captains. Abby Ramirez has had responsibility the last couple of weeks. She's a native Chicagoan, and everyone's calling her and saying, hey, where should we order food from? What's the best place to get pizza?
They should be asking you. I don't know why they're not asking Eric Collins.
Sahvanna Jaquish, strong right-handed hitter from LSU, has been phenomenal. Currently leads the league in batting average. There goes Ramirez down to second. Did she overslide the bag? She did. Wow. That's actually going to be interesting to see how that's ruled. That could be a stolen base, and then she was tagged out after stealing the base. This is a 10-point swing for her.
Well, in this ground, she's just cruising. She can't even stop herself. And like I said, this used to be that rubber turf, and now it is made with the wood chip. It plays a little bit differently, but you do slide like crazy on that rubber type turf as well. So it's just being able to grab hold of something. I mean, this is just, there's nothing you can do.
The official score does have the possibility of scoring that a stolen base and then an out after she got to second. We shall see. Into left field, well hit. Jaquish all the way to the warning track. Becker makes the catch. And Amanda Chittister. Chittister was #1 overall in the very first draft we ever had when this thing all began 3 weeks ago. Swing and a miss by Palacios.
Well, Chitty's just one of those hitters where it's just fear factor. Even if she's in a slump, you still, when she steps in the box, she is that presence and she can go yard at any point.
Wagner looks good early. Wagner was the 2nd overall pick when the draft was held last Tuesday. Kat Ostermann had the #1 pick. She took her catcher Gwen Svekis. Alicia Ocasio at that point was the captain, and she picked Haley Wagner. So even though Wagner's record is not great, an ERA over 4, obviously a lot of respect by Alicia Ocasio and the rest of this Athletes Unlimited world with what she's been able to do against the best hitters in the world.
Well,
there's a strikeout, out #1.
and I have to believe that these pitchers are going to just continue to get better. We have to remember they have not played competitively in over a year. I mean, that curveball, 66 miles an hour, that's trailing away. That is a great pitch. But I think that these pitchers just had to get some solid innings under their belt to start to get a little bit more comfortable. And location, location, location right out of the bat is where these pitchers need to focus. But I also think there's innings and adrenaline that play a factor in performance. And it's tough to recreate those feelings while you're doing bullpens, preparing for this. So pitchers have struggled a little bit, besides obviously Kat, who's undefeated, and Ocasio, who is doing well. But Wagner's a player for me that I think week 3, she's really going to have to step it up and is up for the challenge.
Here's the captain, TJ Sanders. Her life has changed. 2 weeks ago, she was an 11th round pick. This week, she's a captain. Got a bunch of inning wins and win points for playing with Kat Ostermann's team a week ago, but also put up offensive numbers in her own right. Combine the two together, and that's how you become a captain. Two balls and a strike to Sanders. Fouled right side. Let's take a look at the Carmona draft recap with TJ Sanders.
Well, I'm actually really happy with this team. I guess I was not the only one that also wanted Sahvanna. That was my plan, the pick that Lily had too. But definitely needed some pitchers, so that was why I decided to go with my first 2 picks. But also, I just like the fact that there's a lot of versatility. So just like Lily said, even though we drafted them in their positions, I feel like there's a lot of mix and matching we can do with this group.
I really love the fact that it's constantly changing, and you're having these new faces have to make some of these big time decisions and take ownership of their team, right? Like Sanders was someone that had not been a captain yet, but a performance put her in that position to be one. And what goes into it is that pressure. You have to pick people for your team. You have to obviously get along with everyone on your team, but you have to make those big decisions.
Stewart hits it on the ground to second for one, on to first, not in time. Stewart gets down that line quickly and is able to leg it out. That's out number 2.
I just think that's why this league is so unique and so fun, is that it is forever changing, and the dynamic of the battery seems to be changing a lot, and the only one that's consistent is the one that's atop of the leaderboard in Kat Ostermann, where she's continuing to pick Gwen Svekis. But the ownership piece is so big, right? Like, you think about these captains, they have what's called facilitators, that people that are experienced and are coaching in different spots. Christian Conrad is at third base, and he's a manager at Florida State.
There goes the runner down to second. Strong throw, and Stewart is able to hold on the bag just barely. Good thing she didn't clip her fingernails earlier today. She would have been out. She almost overslid the bag just like Ramirez did.
And that little bit of rain just makes it tough to stop yourself. Oof. Was able to see her hand just reaching out, trying to find that base, stop herself.
It's like sliding on a slip and slide. Jasmine Jackson evens the count at 2. Talk about a tale of 2 weeks. Jasmine Jackson, her first week, was dominant with the bat in her hands, went 5 for 10, 7 runs batted in, including a grand slam. Last week took the collar, 0 for 12 in 3 games. But athletes at this level, Danielle, they can turn the page with the best of them, move on, forget the negative, and move towards the positive. 3-2. Softly, a little squibber. Second baseman Clifton throws out Jackson. Side is retired.
Just giving me every feel in the book. I don't know about my kids maybe getting to go to the Olympics one day for Team Canada. That gave me goosebumps. Wow.
Well, Erica Piancastelli has been the goods so far. Through 6 games, batting average of .421. She leads the league, doubling her pleasure over everyone else. In homers, she's got 4. Originally wasn't the captain of this team, but with Alicia Ocasio leaving the league, she is now the captain. And for the most part, she's been winning ever since she's been involved with Athletes Unlimited Softball. In her first 2 weeks of action, teams that she has been on have gone 5-1. And in large part because of what she has done. 8 hits and 19 at bats. I told you about those 4 homers, 6 runs batted in. Foul right side.
Kick when she pulled that leg up.
Popped out of play.
And I know women don't like the reference of like swinging like a dude, but she kind of has that, like when I look, I'm like, that looks like a baseball swing with just that high leg kick.
On the ground hard, backhanded by Stewart. Has plenty of time to get it across the diamond. Piancastelli out number 1. Scoreless through an inning and a half because of rollover points on innings when innings are tied. This inning, should Team Piancastelli score a run, would be worth 20 points for everyone in that third base dugout. Here's Kaylee Clifton, second baseman. 6 hits and 17 at bats so far this season. Two-time national champ at Oklahoma.
And something after having a conversation with the facilitator, Christian Conrad, who is helping out at Florida State, knows Jessica Burrows really well, said that they're really going to try to get her to throw that curveball a little bit more for a strike.
Popped in the air, right side. Will it be playable for Andrews? Yes. 2/3 of the world covered by water, the other third covered by A.J. Andrews. She has got range for days. Quickly 2 down.
And just going back to Jessica Burrows, I mean, she was throwing her fastball a lot the first week out and was getting hit, not able to find the strike zone, and Christian just sat her down. I was like, your curveball, you threw 80% of the time at Florida State. Why are you not throwing your best pitch right now? So coming in to this weekend, that was the goal of let's get that curveball back. Let's utilize that. Throw that in on the lefty's hands. She's not going to blow you away with speed, but her ball is so deceptive with that movement. And that's an example. That's a 57-mile-an-hour curveball that with that Nadia Taylor swing, she was just a giant hack, but I think sometimes Burrows can make you look a certain way just based on how much movement her ball has.
Nadia Taylor, .313 batter through the first 6 games. Hit her first home run last week. That's a foul ball. It's amazing how much we're talking about athletic genes. We just talked about Erica Piancastelli and her mother, both Olympians. Well, Nadia Taylor comes from great stock as well. Her younger brother, wonderful week for him, Patrick. Patrick Taylor has made the Green Bay Packers. He is a running back. So he will get an opportunity to play NFL football sometime this season.
I love that she played a little basketball at Texas.
She did.
5th year.
Yeah. 2-2. In the air, playable. Kelsey Stewart. Side is retired. Has it ruled foul. 0-1 to Andrews. Number 9 in the order should be followed by Kylan Becker and Theresa Meyers.
Won a lot on the line in the 3rd inning here. We have those rollover points from the 1st and 2nd. So this 3rd inning is worth 30 points. And whichever team is able to score more runs than the other, everyone will be awarded those 30 points on the team.
AJ calls herself a hitter who happens to slap. Good pitch by Haley Wagner, 1-2.
If she can continue to keep getting that spot, throwing it 66 miles an hour away from those lefties, that's a good pitch. I'd keep pumping that outside part of the plate.
Right to the shortstop, Ramirez. Line drive out for out number 1. So back to the top of the order, Kylan Becker. She began the game by bouncing out to the shortstop. So far, so good for Haley Wagner. Just a couple of soft singles allowed. First time through the order. 1-1. Good eye by Becker. Becker played at Ole Miss, was an All-American there. Grew up in South Florida, the Miami area. Softly to third. Gonna have to hurry, and Jaquish makes the play. Wow, that was close at first, but it's out number 2.
And Jaquish can play anywhere. She's played outfield, catcher, and then she's just able to make this boom, boom throw. Makes it look so easy. I think
the call on the field was out, but we do have access to replay. And we're gonna have this play challenged. So we're gonna have a video review for Team Sanders. And Mike Rayner is the third member of our crew, and he is with us in his home studio, and he is going to take a look at this review in real time, and he will make the decision. Mike, thanks for doing this, and how you been over the last couple of days, partner?
Hey, man. Good, good.
it's a great shot. I love that they have the ability to be able to utilize this. I think this is a big deal to have these video replays. I think it will be an important piece to NCAA softball to have these. I mean, at the end of the day, these women work so hard at their craft and at their sport, and I think this is an important piece of the puzzle that's been missing.
Yeah, well, I'm going to reverse this call. I've got the foot on the bag before the ball is secure in the glove.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate your time. All right, so straight from the horse's mouth, Mike Rayner is going to reverse this call. So instead of out number 2, it is going to be a 1-out base runner in the form of Kylan Becker. So Becker, who can run on at first base. This is the 3rd straight inning now that Team Sanders has had a 1-out single against Haley Wagner. So the first bit of decision-making in game for DJ Sanders. Gets a thumbs up for her team. And Becker's thrilled because every single individual thing that you do here with Athletes Unlimited Softball results in points. She gets 10 points for that.
And Sam Fisher, I haven't seen her that excited in a while. They were just losing it down there with excitement.
Here's Theresa Meyers. Ball 1 to Theresa. Meyers a single first time up. Becker on the move. Strong throw to second, and it gets through. That'll be a stolen base for Becker. She's in scoring position with 1 out.
So much speed. The importance of putting that runner in RBI position is huge. 30 points on the line for winning this inning as well as the rollover innings from first and second inning.
Ball and a strike to Meyers. I was talking to Theresa earlier, and she was telling me she's getting nothing but drop ball, drop ball, drop ball. I'm assuming she's getting drop balls because the pitchers are afraid to give her anything too hittable.
Exactly. I mean, you leave anything too up in the zone. She's just one of those hitters that the experience that she's had in this game is huge. Walked 7 times, been hit by a pitch 3 times. I think Kat's hit her every time.
Popped up, will it be playable? Wow, just over the netting. Well, Theresa Meyers, like so many of these women, was playing last summer for an opportunity for a team to get to the Olympics. She represented Great Britain. You can see on the knob of her bat, there's the Union Jack. Her mother was born in England, eventually came over to the States, settled in Mississippi, but that is how she got her access to the Great Britain national team, through her mother. You said you played against her?
I did.
In a qualifier.
Last summer. Best player on the team by far. I mean, she's someone that I could almost see on Team USA, so of course she's going to be the best player for Great Britain.
Wow, that's the first time in 7 games that Meyers has struck out. Elite bat-to-ball skills, but Haley Wagner gets her. Second strikeout for Wagner.
Well, and this is the pitch that I'm talking about, that Wagner, if she can continue to keep having this in her back pocket at 65, 66 miles an hour away from those lefties, hard pitch to hit.
All right, my trivia question now. With Meyers striking out, there are only 2 players remaining among position players who have not struck out this season.
Don't ask me, because I know who it is.
Megan Wiggins, the veteran, has not struck out, and the powerful Katiana Mauga are the only 2 players not to have struck out so far with Athletes Unlimited softball. That's a select group if ever there was one. Samantha Howe having a big smile with Haley Wagner. 0-1. Runner in scoring position is Becker. Quickly, 0-2. I'll tell you, this is the best we've seen Wagner in terms of the velocity she's getting. Trying to get back to the dugout with another 0. 0-2, swatted to left field. That ball is caught just in foul territory. Nicole Penley. Burrows has retired 4 in a row. Right back off of Burrows into right field. That ball was scorched, and Burrows has it deflect off her thigh into the outfield.
It's always so scary just when you get a comebacker. Looks like knee, thigh area. Just shows how hard that was hit back at her because of the ricochet to get past Meyers. Ooh.
We'll keep an eye on Jessica Burrows. Second base hit allowed. Runner on at first. Here's Morgan Howe.
I want to know where the love is. Why is no one going out to her, checking up? Hey, are you okay?
Morgan Howe, 10 hits and 22 at-bats, 1 homer, and it was a loud one last weekend, getting it over the scoreboard in right center off of Kat Ostermann. Morgan Howe's wearing a microphone. Let's go All Access, presented by Sparta Science.
Look at that form! You look good! All Access all day.
You paid for it, and we're giving you what you want.
You asked, we deliver. Okay, let's get this bread. My lats are still like screaming at me. I thought chopping my hair off, I wouldn't get whipped in the face anymore. I just took out my left eye. Dang it, everything's getting wet. Oh.
Bouncing ball, Sanders wins the race to second, on to first, double play! Wonderful play by the captain, DJ Sanders, a 6'3" DP.
This is the first time Sanders has been in the infield. She's the captain. She chooses if she wants to play, and she is, and what a pretty double play. She didn't even have to go full back in her while she was trying to throw that. Just a little pump back.
It looks as if this play at first is going to be challenged. The call was out at first, a double play. But now it is Team Piancastelli's turn to challenge. DJ Sanders, as a captain an inning ago, won her challenge. And this is going to be a more difficult decision. Remember, the ruling on the field is out. You need clear and conclusive evidence to overturn. That's the baseline.
I've always been jealous that MLB has always had it. And now I feel kind of cool that I get to watch softball have it up here in the booth. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Both times I felt that the first baseman, first Kelsey Jenkins and this time Amanda Chittister, I felt that both of them could have stretched a little bit further. Like Chitty, I think that she could get a little bit closer to the throw.
Yeah, I'm going to stay with the call on the field. I don't have any conclusive evidence that would cause me to overturn this call.
Thank you, Mike. All right, so once again, we're getting wonderful usage out of Mike Rayner, our supervisor of officials, and the call is confirmed. So a double play. That has been somewhat rare so far through the first 7 days of Athletes Unlimited softball. But a double play clears the bases, 2 outs. And next in line is Nicole Penley.
Well, just a little scoop with the instant replays. Each team gets 2 per game, and if they win it, they don't get an additional call. But after the 6th inning, the umpires, at their own discretion, can get the video replay. If they feel the need, or if there's a super close call, they can make that call as well and be able to go review the play.
One of the reasons I think why it was so important for Team Piancastelli to challenge that is because we just showed you the graphic. This is a 30-point inning. Because of all the rollovers that we have had, no one scored in the first. It rolled over to the second. No one scored in the second. It's now rolled over to the third. So that's 30 inning points if Team Piancastelli can score just 1 run this inning. 30 points is a lot. It's the same as you'd get for a triple, which is rare. Nicole Penley trying to get going. She's a better player than what we've seen. She has really struggled. She was a captain the very first week, and she's still looking for her first base hit. She's 0 for 13.
I kind of feel like some of these players that have been captains have had like the captain curse. Like, you know, your sophomore slump. Like, I just feel like there is so much pressure to be that captain, to perform, to make these decisions. And sometimes that can be taken out in your game.
There you go. Nicole Penley, her first base hit of the year. Solid single through the right side. Breathes a sigh of relief.
It's about time. I love it. She's able to just turn on this pitch as a missed pitch. It's over the heart of the plate. Pretty swing.
It's the first time that Nicole and her sister Shelby have been separated. Sister is part of the 56-player field. But for the first 2 weekends, they both were on each other's teams. Back to the top of the order, Megan Wiggins. Almost to the backstop. Palacios to throw it out at first. So with the strikeout a moment ago of Theresa Meyers, the only 2 players yet to strike out, Megan Wiggins at the plate and Tatiana Mago, who we'll see in our game 2.
And I like the effect of wild. I think sometimes when you throw a ball above a hitter's head, you never ever want to intentionally hit them in the head, but sometimes putting that in your back pocket as a pitcher, like throwing it way up, kind of scaring the hitter a little bit, is not a bad thing. My plate, my rules. If I want to throw it above your head, I'll throw it above your head. But I just think that I like the effectively wild if you can control it. And I feel like in between these lines, the hitters are too good to consistently, you know, not be able to take ownership of what you're trying to do.
Wiggins hits it deep right center field. This ball is gone over the scoreboard. Megan Wiggins keeps on keeping on. Home run number 3 for the veteran, and it's a 2-0 lead for Team Piancastelli.
Not only was that worth 40 points, she gets an additional 30. That was 70 points right there for Wiggins. That's huge, and it's a no-doubter. I mean, she knows as soon as it leaves, she's going for the trot. It's above the scoreboard. When you fall behind on a player like Wiggins, you pay when you have to bring something over the heart of the plate.
Pretty cool when you homer over the scoreboard that's got your face on it. So a 2-0 lead for Team Piancastelli. That's the first extra base hit we've seen for either side. And now how big was that double play turned by DJ Sanders? Would have been a 3-0 lead. Here's Abby Ramirez. Lifts it in the air, foul. Mentioned that Abby Ramirez is a Chicago native. She actually grew up waiting for the bus on her way to school, and she would always bring a ball with her. Would throw the ball against the wall and try and field the hops and throw the ball against the wall waiting for the bus. And that's how she credits her hand-eye coordination and her ability to read hops. She's become an elite middle infielder because of her ability to field 1 and 2 and 3 hoppers.
And that's the old school way to play. I remember playing wall ball constantly in middle school, where you're trying to throw the ball and not drop it, get the clean pickups. You almost wish that for kids more, right? To just be able to go outside and play. You want to throw the ball against the wall. You want to go play with the kids in the neighborhood, throw the ball around.
Lifted in the air. It's going to be playable. Becker makes the catch in foul territory. For Team Sanders, Chittister, Palacios, and the captain, DJ Sanders. Softly, Chittister to third. Look at Jaquish. Sahvanna Jaquish have a day over at third. Tremendous play. 1 pitch, 1 out.
And Jaquish is so good. She's just able to make these plays look so effortless. The grass is wet, turf is wet, excuse me, but just able to come, make that clean sweep. And she's a player for me, you know, looking at Team USA, and they made the roster for the 2020, what will be now the 2021 Olympics, had got cut. And she played in the Pan American Games last summer with Team USA, and she's just one of those players that I was a little surprised she didn't make it, just because of her versatility and her ability to play in so many different positions. I mean, we've seen her play at third, we've seen her catch, we've seen her play at first base, we've seen her play outfield. And not to mention she's leading AU in hitting. So, I mean, to me, that's a statement, and it just shows, like, you can put me anywhere you need me to go, but I'm going to be as consistent as I can be for you when I step into the batter's box. And to me, she's just a baller.
Palacios shows a good eye, pitches low, 1 and 2. Palacios will catch for the Mexican national team. They've qualified for next year's Summer Olympics. They appeal, no swing. You can see on the back of the helmet there for Palacios, she has that Mexican flag. 2-2. This time she goes too far. So Haley Wagner, who normally doesn't strike out a lot, now has struck out 3 through the first 3 2/3. Fans want to get even closer to the game. Become a member of the Unlimited Club to cast votes for player MVPs and have access to our members-only dugout camera. Learn more about the Unlimited Club by visiting auprosports.com and clicking join in the upper right of the page.
And you're right, Wagner is settling in nicely. Not a huge strikeout queen the first couple weeks, but 3 today, and I believe it's that consistency with her curveball. She's able to get that low, tight break into righties and away from lefties. When you can throw it 65, 66 miles an hour, that is not an easy pitch to hit with the break she has on it.
Sanders in the air, left field. Penley makes the play. Side is retired. Is a privilege. Bilingual, California native, played 4 All-American seasons at LSU, and now leading things off in the bottom of the 4th inning. Her team, Team Piancastelli, at 2-0 lead over Team Sanders.
And the only 4-time All-American catcher to ever come out of LSU. 11th in NCAA history with ribbies at 268.
One ball, 2 strikes. We told you about Jaquish being a part of Team USA over previous summers. She also was a part of the Puerto Rican national team, 2014, 2016. Loves to play the game. And who wouldn't love to have her on their team? So versatile and such a wonderful bat.
She would have really helped out Puerto Rico last summer, but she was obviously with Team USA, but she would have made them.
Down the right field line, trouble if it stays fair. Look at A.J. Andrews. How did she get to that ball? She ranged probably 45 feet. And got that line drive at the warning track, made it look effortless.
It's a good piece of hitting. I mean, that's in the other batter's box. And AJ just tracks it down. Obviously, a lot of speed out in right field.
One down, Piancastelli, the batter.
Pretty catch.
Piancastelli bounced to third her first time up. Two and one. I'll tell you what, the pitcher Burrows has been impressive. She gave up that home run an inning ago, but this is someone who didn't play at all last week, who got touched up quite a bit the very first week of play. High, straightaway center field. Jackson, 2 down. What have you noticed about Jessica Burrows so far through 3 2/3?
Yeah, I think she's really done a good job at being able to not throw too many balls over the plate. And that sounds easier said than done, but that has been the struggle a little bit for these pitchers. Or they're tending to throw too much over the white, and these hitters are just too good. But I've seen her throw that knuckle changeup a little bit and get some great movement and some looks on that pitch. She's been able to throw that curveball and get that for a strike, as well as just owning that inside part of the plate. If you can own that, it doesn't matter if you throw 70 miles an hour or if you throw 58. I think establishing your plate as a pitcher is extremely important when you come into a game, because hitters try to do all this intimidation thing. I'm going to get on your plate and I'm going to do this, but as a pitcher, always own the inside part.
Popped up. Stewart makes the play in foul territory.
I was like, I could either be 2 things, real sore from yesterday or not feel anything at all. I think I'm good. I want a hacky. I love hacky. You guys coming to watch? Oh, I was like, this is awkward. That's exactly what time it is. Oh my God, you crazy? Did you read the sun? We need like an energy check. Yeah.
kind of cool that we had an opportunity to listen to Jessica Burrows as she gets ready for a game and as she participates in a game in the circle.
I know. I want to see like what she was saying to herself after that Wiggins bomb. You know, that's what makes this so cool, that these players are mic'd up, because you get to hear them in some pretty big moments. And I think the pitcher catcher potentially mic'd up for the future wouldn't be a bad thing, just to like hear that self-talk and what they say to themselves. And they give up a home run.
Kelsey Stewart, little flare, left center field, and it drops right in front of the left fielder Penley, and it's going to be a 2-base hit for Stewart to begin the frame. A double for Stewart. She's in scoring position with nobody out here in the 5th inning.
Just kind of falls right in the middle of everyone. Penley, Ramirez tries to go out. Just a little bit of a jam job. I think she also knows the importance of being able to leg out that double.
It's been a good day for Stewart. She stole a base her last time up with that double. She now has 30 points. Jasmine Jackson bounced out to second, first time up. She's down in the count 0-2. Jasmine Jackson, a business degree from Cal Berkeley. Doesn't get much better than that. Going back to that all-access bit we had with the pitcher, Jessica Burrows. When you pitched All-American, of course, at Washington, were you a chatty pitcher? I kind of always thought that pitchers always just in there, just super quiet and just stay to in their own head.
No, we're the craziest ones on the field.
Okay.
I'm constantly talking to the catcher, whether that's kind of the eye contact. I'm always connecting with the outfielders, and then I have self-talk to myself, and I put my glove over my face if something happens. So it's not for maybe small ears to be mic'd up in pressure situations if they were listening to me, but that's also, there's a lot riding on some big situations, and I think when you're out there alone, it's important to be able to say what you need to say to yourself to get you back in the zone and going, and also know that there's people that can help you out. The relationship I have with the corners is always pretty important. Like, come and hold me accountable, or tell me to be better.
A.J. Andrews, number 9 hitter. Runners on at third. 2-0. Pitcher Wagner has been phenomenal. A shutout here in the 5th inning. This has been a hitter's league so far in the first 3 weeks. 3-0. Having a hard time throwing a strike to Andrews.
Well, it's a tough punch when you have Andrews, Becker back-to-back with the speed that they both bring, being those lefty slappers. Puts that pressure on the defense. The defense is in a little bit with a 3-0 count.
3-1. The corners, Jaquish and Jenkins, getting a workout. They both are crashing with every pitch. Slapper at the plate, runner on at third. A lot of different things can happen. 5-pitch walk to Andrews. So that is the first walk allowed by Wagner. And runners on at the corners, back to the top of the order, and Kylan Becker. This player conference is presented by Mariner Wealth Advisors. It's not just the pitcher and the catcher, it is the entire infield. And Danielle, I'm assuming this is just because these are brand new teams, first game of the week, and everyone's new to each other, and you got to discuss all the different options you have with first and third.
Yeah, and the catcher Piancastelli is the one that initiated that timeout. She's the one that makes those decisions. But you're right, you're in a first and third situation right now with 1 out, and the speed of Andrews. I mean, there's a good shot she's going to steal. So the communication between Ramirez and Clifton, who's cutting that throw off? Are we focusing on getting Stewart at home, or is the out at 2 more important because it's a 2-0 game?
Andrews bluffs, And the pitch is ball 1 to Becker. This is a big out because after Becker, you've got Theresa Meyers coming to the plate. There goes Andrews, delayed steal, and she overslid the bag by a good 4 feet, but because the throw was bounced, she's safe. This is amazing how much these players are sliding past second base.
When you almost need someone just literally standing on the bag and keeping that tag on them the whole way, and of course so much speed, but
my goodness.
This is where the defense needs to know and be better in that situation. If anyone should know, it should be Ramirez, who was caught in that same situation.
On the ground, Clifton wants to come home. The throw, safe. A run scores, and Clifton, her throw bounces and gets away, and it allows Becker to go all the way to second. So runners on at second and third. It's now a 1-run game.
When it's already pressure on the defense with speed, but just have to make a better throw going home. Clifton, I mean, I know that catchers are used to getting those bounce balls, but something on the money might have been a little bit cleaner to get that sure out.
Meyers, 2 runners in scoring position, and taps it foul. Meyers currently 29th in the points column out of 56 players. That's not indicative of how dangerous a hitter she is. Quality pitch, 0-2.
And that's what I'm saying. If you can continue to keep getting that spot, it's about a half a ball off the plate. That is a great pitch.
Inning began to the double by Kelsey Stewart. Jasmine Jackson bounced to the pitcher. A.J. Andrews walked, stole a base, and then Becker, little infield ground ball to the second baseman Clifton. The play's not made at the plate. A run scores, and once again, runners at second and third. Wagner's 0-2. Sliced left field side, out of play. That ball hit by Becker a moment ago has scored a fielder's choice, so she doesn't get a hit. She does get an RBI, but there are no individual points for runs batted in. One-run game. Wow, that ball was so inside. May have hit Meyers. Somehow she puts the bat on the ball.
And her foot is way on the line, and she is towed up to that plate. And I just think the importance of respecting the count. 0-2 against a hitter like that. I got to put the ball 3-4 balls off the plate. Go with that curveball, snap it away. Don't give her anything close. And that's what I've seen by most of these dominant hitters in this league. They're so good when they fall behind. When they get 0-2, 1-2, they're really great at being able to battle back in counts and make you work.
Again, able to turn on an inside pitch.
This is when you wish you can just throw that little changeup in. You don't want anything way up in the zone, but if you can maybe get something almost close to bouncing, just something to change speeds.
Softly, second baseman Clifton, her play is at first, and that is out number 2, but a run scores, and we are tied at 2. So a 2-2 tie here in the top of the 5th inning. And with that, another run scored. Aspiration Bank just committed to plant another 100 trees to drive environmental change. All square, 2 apiece. Samantha Howe with 2 outs and a runner on at third. Howe takes ball 1. We've only seen one base hit in the inning. That was the double by Stewart, and it was a bloop double. Howe began the day hitting .400 on the nose, 8 for 20. Softly to third, Jaquish. Bad throw, allows a run to score. Inning continues for the first time. It is a lead for Team Sanders.
You see Jaquish coming in, and this is just kind of a routine play for her, and not able to come up clutch with that throw on the money. And it's almost like she threw it off of the wrong leg, so she didn't have as much power behind the throw.
Wow, what a turn of events. After not being able to score through the first 4 innings, Team Sanders puts a 3 spot on the board, and they've got a chance for even more as Amanda Chittister comes to the plate. There's a base open if Wagner wants to work around Chittister. Nope, going right at her. Chittister swings to the first pitch and flies out to center. You can earn points and sometimes you lose points on virtually every play during the course of a ball game. Really unique scoring system here with Athletes Unlimited Softball. When it's all said and done at the end of the year, we're not going to have a winning team or a championship team. Instead, we will have the player and the players with the most points. So there's going to be one player out of the 56 here for this 5-week window who has more points than anyone else, and that's going to be a heck of an honor if you come on top of that pile. Nadia Taylor, high drive left field, playable. Becker, one-handed grab. Taylor is now 0 for 2, and the beat continues for Jessica Burrows. She had that hiccup in the 3rd inning, gave up 2 runs on the homer by Megan Wiggins, but since she has retired 5 in a row. And Danielle, it's interesting to note, she's retired 5 in a row, and every out has been recorded on a fly ball. It's amazing, actually. She's only gotten 2 batters to hit the ball on the ground, and she's gotten 3 outs from it. Team Piancastelli hit into a 5-3 put out at first, and then Morgan Howe hit into a 6-3 double play.
And I think as a hitter, when you're facing someone like Burrows, if you're going up there to try to drop bombs and have these giant swings, that's where she gets you, because she is so spinny and has that in her arsenal to...
Down the left field line, that's going to be playable. That's about the 4th, maybe 5th ball that we have seen in foul territory caught by the left fielder. It's like a magnet or a moth to a flame, the way the ball keeps going there.
Well, I mean, you just have to tip your cap to Burrows. When you give up a home run, it's never fun, those emotions, but she's just found a way to continue to keep going after it and hit good spots and throwing that curveball a little bit more. I mean, that 5th inning, 6 pitches so far, and that just shows that she's effective.
6 consecutive fly ball outs induced by Burrows.
And realistically, the mile per hour gap, that pitch came in at 63. Her changeup, the last inning I saw a couple times at 56 miles an hour, and the last pitcher to realistically change speeds has been Ocasio. So Burrows is really that next in line that can change speeds consistently. She will never be coming at you with the same pitch all the time. And that's what made Ocasio as good as she is and have a lot of success these last 2 weekends, is because she could just continue to keep messing with the hitters' heads.
Morgan Howe hit into a double play first time up. It was challenged and the play was confirmed. She is now 10 for 23. And wow, is this her 2nd homer? It is. 2nd time in 2 weeks that she goes over the scoreboard in right center. 1 swing of the bat and we are tied at 3. Morgan Howe, how do you do? She has got some thump in that bat.
Well, and both home runs today have been given up at 2-1 counts. And you look at where that pitch goes, that's up in the zone over the heart of the plate. You have to be able to put that pitch on a hitter's hands. You can't miss. And that was just a massive bomb. Like, that was out of here. Everyone just knew it as soon as she swung at it, that that thing was clearing the scoreboard. Get out of here.
2 homers on the season for Howe, 1 against Kat Ostermann, and now 1 off of Jessica Burrows. So finally a fly ball hurts Burrows after getting 6 consecutive fly ball outs. This fly ball doesn't come back.
Well, and just the importance of being able to get ahead of these hitters, right? If you're falling behind 2-0, 2-1, it's when you have to throw something in a hitter's wheelhouse. So it's needing to take more accountability at the beginning of a count and saying, okay, if I don't want to put anything too sweet on the plate, maybe I can throw my fastball or work my curveball a little bit or throw my knuckle change and get that for a good spot.
Pendley gets it past the diving Meyers. Inning continues. Second straight hit for Pendley. After going 0 for her first 13, she's 2 for 2 this afternoon. And maybe now you start to wonder about Burrows, and is she tiring a bit? She hasn't pitched a lot of innings. She has only pitched 9 1/3 coming into this one.
You know, and I always want to have a pitcher's back. Like I do, the pitcher and me always will, but there's no excuses for throwing the ball over the plate, right? It's tough to feel bad for a pitcher when they're constantly missing over the heart of the plate. I mean, this is what we learn when we're growing up playing at 7, 8, 9, 10. Spots over everything, spots over speed. And that's, I think, just been the struggle a little bit with her. She's just fallen behind in counts, had to throw the ball over the plate. These hitters are too good, and they expose that.
2-0 to Wiggins. And Burrows being extra careful with Megan Wiggins. Morgan Foley getting loose in a hurry behind Burrows. Four-pitch walk to Wiggins. That is now 3 consecutive Team Piancastelli batters to reach successfully against Burrows. It started with the home run by Howe, base hit by Pendley, and then the 4-pitch walk to Wiggins. First walk allowed by Burrows.
Well, and the facilitator, Christian Conrad, is over talking to the umpire. And DJ Sanders is the captain of the team, so decisions have to go through her, but I'm sure communication was in place before this inning even happened to say if Burrows were to struggle, what's the game plan? Do we want to bring Foley in?
And apparently they do. As the ball is exchanged along that first base line, Burrows leaves. Heck of a performance by her. She was very good up until 2 outs here in this inning. And then 3 consecutive members of Team Team Piancastelli reaching safely.
And I feel like that's honestly, Eric, been the trend a little bit with these pitchers, is that starting to go that 3rd time through the order, they really struggle. So it's almost as if it should be an automatic, bringing someone in the 5th inning to just kind of help the pitcher out. And the hitting is definitely more effective and has been more dominant in this league than some of the pitching for sure. So I think it's respecting that and finding the right tactic to pitch to that. And a pitch by committee is not a bad thing. Foley has come in and has had some great innings. She throws hard, 68 miles an hour to 70. Can make the ball break a lot, but I just think it's coming in with understanding your job. Your job is
Abby Ramirez trying to keep the inning alive, facing Morgan Foley. Ramirez 1 for 2, was caught stealing after singling in the 1st inning. Ramirez has been part of winning teams so far in the first 2 weeks of Athletes Unlimited Softball. Has never lost a game. She's 6-0 because of that. Look at the win points, 690 of them. The only players yet to have lost a game: DJ Sanders, one of the captains, Abby Ramirez, of course, Kat Ostermann, Gwen Speckes, and Janie Reed. Those are your 5 undefeated teams, undefeated players so far through the first 2 weeks. Two balls and 2 strikes to Ramirez. Three and 2. Wow, is this a big pitch? To the backstop, it's ball 4. So the bases are loaded in a 3-3 game, and Sahvanna Jaquish will bat. Oh boy. What a serene inning this had been. Taylor and Jenkins both flied out to left field. Standard issue. But then Morgan Howe with 2 outs, a colossal homer to right center. Nicole Penley a single. And now back-to-back walks, Wiggins and Ramirez. Bases are loaded, and Morgan Foley's going to get a quick hook. Team captain DJ Sanders said, you know what? I'm not going down like this. We're going to bring back Jessica Burrows to pitch to Jaquish.
Well, I mean, that's not owning your job. You come in and 3-2 count, you're throwing it and launching it over the backstop. I mean, I got to make a change on that too. You know what I mean? It's just, it's one of those things where as a pitcher, this league is going to expose you in a lot of ways, and it's going to make you realize where you need to be better. And at a 3-2 count, you can't throw it over the catcher's head.
So Burrows back into the game, gives up a deep drive to center. That's gone! A grand slam home run, Sahvanna Jaquish. You cannot hit a ball harder than the way she hit that ball to dead central. Wow. Lickety split. Team Piancastelli back on top.
And I mean, this is just over the middle of the plate. Can't do this. And you know what I love about this, Eric, is the fact that Sahvanna Jaquish gets to pick herself up from the error last inning. She makes that big error, they score runs. You could tell she was distraught about it. And then she's able to step into the batter's box and have her team's back. That is clutch.
So inning points as well. 20 of them will go to Team Piancastelli. A cleansing experience for Sahvanna Jaquish. Piancastelli, team captain, trying to join her over the fence. Comes up empty. Ball and 2 strikes. Wow, this all happening with 2 outs. Just amazing. A 5-run bottom of the 5th. Popped up. This one's going to be playable. Chittister makes the catch. Seen Fisher play so far today. She comes off the bench, trying to start a rally. She will bat for Sachel Palacios. Fisher's got a couple of home runs. A little bit surprised when I took a look at the lineup card for Team Sanders and didn't see Fisher in it. She's been one of the better hitters.
I'd have to agree. A couple bombs.
And caught her on the thumbs. It's going to hang in the air long enough for Pendley to make the play. Out number 1. And all of a sudden, Team Sanders is running out of time. They've only got 5 more outs to work with, and the way that Haley Wagner has pitched, that may not be enough time. Here's the captain, Sanders. Singled back in the 2nd inning. Also flying out to left. Turned out to be a really nice late afternoon here in Chicago. The weather was dicey earlier today. Had rain, wind, it was gray, but it's all cleared up. Both teams, when they were taking infield and getting their swings in right before the game, they were working in a drizzle. In the first inning or two, we had a bit of rain, but it has really calmed down. Backhanded by the shortstop Ramirez. Long throw just in time to get Sanders by a half step. 2 down. Fans head over to auprosports.com for custom merchandise, watch party kits, and pick'em games. And stay connected with Athletes Unlimited year-round by following us on social at AU Sports. Kelsey Stewart. Bloop double last time up, this time right back to the pitcher. .50 inning points. And right now they're looking good to pick up the extra 50 win points if they can hold on. Bottom of the 6th, trying to add some insurance before we get to the 7th and final inning. Kaylee Clifton against Jessica Burrows. Clifton, Taylor, and Jenkins, the scheduled batters. But it looks as if Nicole Dewitt has grabbed the bat and will bat for Nadia Taylor. We shall see. Off the end of the bat. It's going to be playable. Left field, Becker. She's been busy. Jessica Burrows has been an extreme fly ball pitcher. Every out that she's recorded, with the exception of 2, has been a fly ball out.
It's just been those home runs with runners on, right? Like, giving up a solo shot is totally fine, but giving up a grand salami is just not going to work. It's not going to put your team in a position to win an inning, and it's going to make it difficult to win a game. So I think it's understanding that if you put yourself in a position where you're walking people and you get yourself in trouble and give up the big hit, it's tough to go out and feel really good. And I think that's what I've seen. I saw her fall behind on Wiggins with that 2-run home run, and then Jaquish the 2-1 count as well with the grand slam.
This is Nicole Dewitt, our first look at the former Florida Gator. She replaces Nadia Taylor. Two and one. Good hit by Dewitt. Line drive, crisp single to right field for her. So 10 points for Dewitt coming off the bench. You add that to the 50 points that she has won for inning wins as a team. She's got 60 points. She's only been in the game for all of 4 pitches. Next in line is Kelsey Jenkins. Jenkins literally got a single off of Burrows back in the 3rd inning. Line smash off the shin of Burrows that actually made it all the way into right field on the carom. Last time up, she popped out to left field.
Kelsey Jenkins plays with Team Canada. Help them qualify for the 2021 Olympics now, I guess.
Did that get her? It did. Dead ball as Jenkins is hit with a pitch, and Burrows goes in and has a word saying, I don't think she got out of the way.
And for a second, I thought that it hit her arm guard, but based on how she's running to first base, looks like it got more than that.
So 10 points the hard way for Jenkins. Yeah, got her on the arm guard. All right, greatness has made it in the building. Kat Ostermann. She will start our nightcap. Looking on. She's with Gwen Svekis, 2nd consecutive week that Kat has had the most points and been the #1 captain and selected her catcher Svekis. And a second opportunity for Morgan Foley. Foley came on an inning ago and threw all of 5 pitches. And she walked Abby Ramirez and was given a quick hook. Now she'll get a chance to vindicate herself. She inherits runners on at first and at second, and Morgan Howe, who hit a homer her last time up, will be the batter. What would you like to see more out of with Morgan Foley?
Yeah, I think it's important to hit good spots, and I know she's definitely a pitcher that tends to be effectively wild, throws it almost everywhere at times, but in this league, that's not going to get you far, right? It's really coming in with the ability to hit good spots, and I know it says she throws 7 different pitches, but what I want to see is her be able to locate 1 to 2 good quality pitches. And I mean, let's be real, if you can throw the ball 68 miles an hour, you should be a dominant pitcher in this game, because that is tough to do.
Morgan versus Morgan. Foley versus Howe. Ball 1. Just enormous power from Morgan Howe. We have seen her twice go over the scoreboard. It's been swings like that. Comes up empty. 1-1. Morgan Howe wore number 47 as a college player. That number's taken with Amanda Chittister wearing it. So she said, I'll take 74 instead of 47. Works for me. I got the same 2 digits. And this may be the only time in the history of professional sports that we have seen a pitcher in the 70s throwing to a hitter who's wearing a number in the 70s. It's like we have 2 offensive linemen working against each other. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trying to frame it. Palacios doesn't get the call. 3-2. You know Foley has been told, throw some strikes. It's a big pitch for her. Good strike. Spoiled by Howe.
Just think about the catchers in this game are forever that rotating door for pitchers. I mean, last inning she was catching Jessica Burrows, and Palacios has to understand and respect what she's throwing, and then you're bringing Foley in.
To left field. Another chance for Becker. Outs recorded, that's number 2. And runners have to remain on at first, then at second. That's the 7th putout for Kylan Becker. 7 times a fly ball has been lifted to left field, and she's made the play. That's a lot of work for an outfielder.
They appreciate the work. They like getting the ball out there. Sometimes they get a little lonely. They got no one to talk to out there. They're just by themselves.
Nicole Penley. First 2 hits. Single in the 3rd, single in the 5th. She has scored twice. This is her best day here with Athletes Unlimited. Already 70 points. Right to the first baseman. Chittister's side is retired. With 3 outs to work with. Haley Wagner has been the truth. She has gone the first 6 innings, scattering 4 hits. She gave up 3 runs, but she's got a 4-run stiff arm right now here in the 7th inning. Still got it going on, 65 miles per hour past the bat of Jackson.
And this is Team Sanders' last kick at the can here. They need to score or else this game will be done. If they are able to score, the home team, Team Piancastelli, will have their ABs in the bottom of the 7th inning because of those win points. But if they are not able to score, they will automatically be awarded to the winning team.
Gonna have to hurry, no chance. Wow, can Jackson really scoot? Jasmine Jackson, her first hit in 2 weeks.
And I mean, it's almost unfair to have Jackson and Andrews back to back. Just so much pressure, and as soon as Wagner lets this go above her glove, there's no shot in being able to get her with the speed.
Jasmine Jackson was 5 for 10 in week 1. Last week, 0 for 12. She's glad to get off the schneid, get herself a base hit. She's 1 for 3 so far this afternoon. Here's A.J. Andrews, 0 for 1. Walked, stole a base back in the 5th inning. In that 5th inning, all 3 runs scored for Team Sanders. Besides that, it's been goose eggs. Let's take a look at our Geico defensive play of the game. First blush, I said that she ran about 45 feet to make the play. I underestimated. 51 feet. That's wonderful how we have access to that information. Former Rawlings Gold Glove winner, A.J. Andrews. A lot of times, you mentioned it before, Danielle, what you do with the glove is not necessarily the most important thing. It's actually getting there by taking the right read and taking the right angle. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
What a pretty pitch by Wagner, that backdoor curveball. What that pitch is it's going to look like it's going to hit A.J. Andrews and drop back in for a strike.
Count goes full, 3-2. Haley Wagner normally doesn't walk very many. She has just 1 walk today, but it was to Andrews her last time up. On the ground, backhanded by Jenkins. That's the first out. Pushes Jackson into scoring position. Well, we're going to take a quick reset, and then we're going to have another game coming your way. 7:30 Eastern Time, ESPN 3. Team Reed, Team Ostermann. Middle of your screen is Kat Ostermann. We've taken a look at the lineup card, and she will be in the circle, calling her own name here for this weekend's opener. And she has been sensational. Has won every game she's pitched in here with Athletes Unlimited. Two-time Olympian, by far and away the most experienced player with Athletes Unlimited. And so far through 2 weeks, she has been the most dominant. She's accrued by far and away the most points. Right to the third baseman, Jaquish. Throw is low and it gets away from Jenkins. That will allow Jackson to score standing. So a costly mistake by Jaquish. That's the second error that she has made. Both have led directly to a run scoring.
And I thought for sure this is just one of those easy plays, right? She looked that runner back to make sure she didn't advance, and I don't know if the ball was wet or something, but I mean, it's tough to make some of those amazing plays on the run, Jeter style, looking good, but then can't make those little easy throws over to one.
So because the run scores here in the top of the 7th inning, we will play the bottom of the 7th, no matter what happens. There's out number 2. Meyers is retired. This is part of this interesting dynamic here. This game could be won by Team Piancastelli, but because already a run is scored in the top for Team Sanders, inning points will be on the line. So Team Piancastelli will bat with the game already in their back pocket. Samantha Howe. Last opportunity for win points for Team Sanders.
And that's, I think, what can be a challenge as a pitcher, right? When you're just throwing your heart out there, you're doing a great job, you're hitting good spots, and then your defense doesn't have your back. I think that's where I would almost at times find it to be the most challenging. But Wagner, so impressed. I mean, poker face, cannot even tell if the frustration is there or not. And I think when you're a pro and you just get to that point of experience, you have to respect the fact that no one's intentionally making errors behind you. I think being able to connect up with them and let them know, hey, I got you, I'll pick you up, it is important.
1-2. Howe lifts it foul. This is an exceedingly important at bat. It's a 3-run game. After Howe, should she get on, Amanda Chittister is on deck. Chittister, the most powerful hitter in all of women's fast pitch. She's on deck, and if someone allows Howe to get on, she'll have a chance to tie it with one swing of the bat. Little flipper, right field. Will it get down? No! It's caught! It's caught, Morgan Howe! How do you do? Ball game is over. A nice, wonderful catch by Team Piancastelli, and they get the win points.
Was able to score the first runs off Kat Ostermann with that bomb she had off of her, and I think that just allowed for everyone to be able to take that breath and be like, all right, Kat's human, we can score off of her. Another home run today over the scoreboard, and then makes a heck of a catch in right field.
All right, so we're playing the bottom of the 7th inning here because Team Sanders scored a run in the top of this inning, and inning points are on the line. So if Megan Wiggins, this is going to be a tough play for Sanders. Now, not nearly enough arm to get Wiggins, who can still motor. So Wiggins is safe. For Megan Wiggins, that is her second hit of the game, 3rd time she's reached base safely. All Team Piancastelli needs to do is score 1 run here in this half of the inning, and then this game will be over. If they score 1 run, that means that there will be no inning points, one for either side. I can't imagine how unburdened these hitters must be, knowing that the game is already won and you're still batting.
It's part of the AU philosophy, and you know that going into it. It's all about them points, baby. Got to get those points.
Ramirez to left field. We've seen this before. That is the 8th time that Kylan Becker has caught a ball in left field. 8 putouts for Becker, a new Athletes Unlimited softball record. It's been a roller coaster day for Sahvanna Jaquish. Couple of errors playing third base, but that all melts away courtesy of the Grand Slam home run.
You know, and it's obviously respecting Jaquish's power. I mean, defense-wise, everyone is back as they can. Chittister in line with the base. Stewart way back. This is when you wish you could be great at just a swing and bunt, right? Like, just could get that on cue. Defense is back on you, and then you just kind of snub them with that little...
Nothing but strikes here for Morgan Foley working at Jaquish.
That's a good job by Palacios behind the plate. And I don't think we give the battery and the catchers enough credit for how hard they have to work pitcher to pitcher. It's someone completely different. I mean, you're catching for Burrows, throwing 58, 60 miles an hour, and then Foley's coming in hot, 68 miles an hour, effectively wild. It's not easy behind the plate having to deal with that, and I think we need to give more props to them.
Yeah, we've seen each draft that we've had how important catchers are. No one's been more impressive than Gwen Svekis. Hasn't lost a game. She has caught Kat Ostermann in every game the Cat has thrown, and clearly that battery is working. I'm impressed with Morgan Foley, the way that she's battled after struggling with her control in her first stint. She's been a strike throwing machine.
You know what, I like that spot. I mean, that's obviously way out, and that's a pitch that Jaquish is not fooled by, but I think these hitters are so good where they're able to hit a ball 2 balls off the plate. So you really have to be precise when you're 0-2, 1-2.
Man, she's got nothing to get past Jaquish.
Well, and this is where you look at her resume of having 7 pitches. Where's the change? Why have we not changed speeds here? I mean, these hitters and someone like Jaquish, I mean, she can handle 68 on the hands, and she's made that known. And I think if you can't change speeds, it is difficult against a hitter like Jaquish.
Ooh, painful at bat for Jaquish. It's going to get her 10 points, but that's got to hurt. Well, what does a great catch sound like? Morgan Howe wearing a mic.
Let's go!
She loves it.
That's awesome. DJ Clark able to get it to second base in time.
Good job.
That is a fielder's choice. Runners on at first and at third. And now we're down to our final out. The game has already been won. Team Piancastelli, they know that they're going to win, but because of the unique format of Athletes Unlimited softball, there are still points on the line for who wins this 7th inning. That's why we're playing the bottom of the 7th inning. Now, should Megan Wiggins score, she's the third base, the game is immediately over.
And the rain's starting to drizzle and come in a little bit.
So Wiggins on at third. The captain, Piancastelli, is on at first. And it's Clifton at the plate. Kaylee Clifton takes called strike one. We'll take a timeout between games, and then we'll have Team Reed versus Team Ostermann. Something will happen for both those captains, Janie Reed and Cass Ostermann, that has never happened before. One of those two will lose a game. Kat and Janie Reed had played together each of the first 2 weeks, so they both are 6-0. But tonight's game will not end in a tie. So either Janie Reed or Kat Ostermann will lose for the very first time. There's Janie right in the middle of your screen. Ball and 2 strikes to Clifton. This is actually important to Team Sanders. They have not won an inning so far today. Trying to get some points by hook or crook. Two outs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Popped up. Should end the ball game. And it does. So some inning points